Hey there, what's up, guys? Good to be back with you once again, and it's time for a little bit more baseball stores action. So, as you can see, a little bit later today than I normally am. It's sort of been that kind of day here for us. So, yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on. Note, this is not me playing. This is not me cheating on you. Don't worry. This is just the computer doing its thing. That's something that I have to remind you about every single time. Because if I don't, you're going to think that something weird is going on and I'm sort of cheating you out of gameplay. Nothing could be further from the truth than that. So what we have that's different from last time? Well, absolutely nothing. This is the same team that we had before. Who was it that I think it was Lucy that we spent so much time and energy and heartache trying to upgrade. So she's up to 30,000. That's where we want her to be. Shermie, I think, is the next one with our target. And then let's see, who else? Snoopy will also get up to 30,000 eventually. Frida and Sally, everybody's at 20,000. So we'll just go down the row. I haven't decided yet who is going to play what. Actually, you know what? I can go look that up right now. In fact, I'll do that right when you're on with me. This is a very professional thing to do, right? Because I happen to have the Peanuts list shared. Charlie Brown's baseball team from the Peanuts wiki. So in theory, what this is supposed to be is we're supposed to have Schroeder as catcher. We probably need to do that for him. Shermie's actually supposed to be the first baseman. So if we go back and look at our team, Shermie has a defense of 3. So my guess is that if we want him to be the first baseman, we'll probably keep that defense a little bit low. Second base is technically supposed to be Linus. Linus has the defense at 9. We need to get him to be a little bit faster, but you know, he'll get up there eventually. Shortstop, of course, will eventually be Snoopy. That's why we're kind of going to focus on defense, maybe defense and running a little bit for him, make him a little bit quick, give him some luck. Lucy's supposed to be in right field, which is perfect if she's going to be a leadoff hitter. I think that she's probably good enough to do that now. Center field would be either Frida or Patty, the Patty who we don't have yet. Frida's not quite there yet. And then left field, of course, would be the immortal Violet, who we also need to give some speed to. Anyway, we'll sort of figure out what we have there. Franklin, somebody reminded me, was actually not on Charlie Brown's team in the comic strip, but we're going to have Peppermint Patty as well eventually. So that's sort of the plan that we have here. The other big question that everybody has is, what do we do once we've played the 25th game against this team? I'll tell you right away what it is that we're going to do. We're probably going to do a similar series against Lovely Ladies. I think somebody recommended that, and I think that's probably the right thing to do, and then sort of play up until we can easily beat them. That'll give us some more money, and it'll make it a little bit faster. We'll probably do like 25 games or something like that. I know it sounds like a lot, but if we're playing at this pace, we should be able to continue doing one a day. I've been messing around with other channels that I have and like other plans and stuff. For this one, though, I'm probably going to continue doing baseball stores once a day. People really, really seem to like it. There are a lot of people who are talking about how they're watching this like every single day. There are some channels where I might change it a little bit to where like the first series we do like once every other day and we sort of mess with things. I don't know. We'll experiment. You know how YouTube is. I'm just sort of making this up as I go anyway. If somebody told me that you can't get hit by a pitch if you move, that's wrong. I actually moved into that pitch. You can go back, rewind it, and rewind it like it's a Blockbuster Video, right? You can go back in time and you can go look at that again, and you'll see that I actually moved into that. You might have to look a little bit slowly, though. So anyway, good times. Someone else was asking about some of the earlier videos of gameplay on this channel where things were really choppy. So the reason why is because I was foolish enough to try to export from Kdenlive over to H265 instead of 264, which I thought was a genius idea because I saved a lot of disk space. But eventually I realized that YouTube doesn't like that encoding and does really weird things with it. So that's actually kind of a YouTube thing. So you shouldn't be experiencing those problems. No, if you're still seeing like jittery or like things like flipping out and stuff like that, let me know. And I don't know what I'll do about that. I'll probably have to like delete half of my drive, and I don't know. We'll figure something out. But it's better for me to know than not to know. This guy's name is KGB. Oh, KJB, I'm sorry. KGB, right? So we're playing against the Russian spy, the Russian spy agency. Here I am swinging at a ball inside again. I'm really good at doing that. Good times. All right, good job, Violet. Way to be a team player. Lioness finally gets the first hit of this game, so I'm guessing the luck isn't so high with this one. But yeah, so I think that some of the bad luck that we've had has been because our luck ratings are not really high. Imagine that. That almost makes sense, right? I don't know this for a fact, and like I said, I'm not sure of anybody who's actually like gone through the game and talked about like what the different attributes actually mean in terms of gameplay, but I suspect that higher luck will make it so that you can get more base hits, and that like you'll stop hitting line drives right at fielders and stuff like that, and also on defense, like you're more likely to be in the right place at the right time. Yeah, see, that's the problem, right? I think that's going in, and then it has this weird bend to it that goes straight over the plate. I swear he's throwing a scuffed ball, and the umpire needs to look at this. It's Mike Scott who we've got over here. We're going to start a collection of balls in the dugout, and then we'll have the league president look at it. And I'm going to go on ABC, and I'm going to complain about it loud and long to anybody who was willing to listen. Anyway, good times, good times. This video is being done a little bit later than normal, and the reason why is because it's a little bit later in the day. It's because I've had one of these like really, really crazy days with a lot of crazy things happening. That's kind of what's been going on. That plus, so I did the video for my hockey channel before this one, and that one went a little bit long. But as you saw earlier today, the video did go out about 1982 baseball cards. So if you haven't watched that yet, go watch it and sort of see what you think. I've had a lot of wonderfully sarcastic replies from people, including somebody who said that they wanted to go buy 1982 Kmart now just to spite me. So if you really feel that way, you can go ahead. You can find that set like everywhere. 1982 Kmart is one of the most massively produced sets of all time, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but it's true. And the funny thing about it is that nobody in their right mind wants this set. I mean, it's just as ugly as it possibly can be. Only Topps would come up with an idea of like taking like a picture of a card and making that the card. All right, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And that was Topps before Fanatics. Combining Topps with Fanatics is like, I don't know, man. It's like if Comcast merged with Microsoft or something like that, right? I mean, it's like the worst of all possible worlds, right? So anyway, there you have it. Fanatics is really bad, and Topps is just Topps. Oh man, we were really lucky there. Maybe this guy has good luck. That should not have been a foul ball. Anyway, what a beautiful day for baseball stars. What a beautiful day for swinging and missing at a ball that just barely nicks the strike zone. There we go. There's a base hit. We need them to throw more fastballs like this. Then we can get those base hits in. Thinking triple, but it's not going to happen. All right. Almost got him hit by that pitch. Not quite. Oh, man. It's just one of those days. It's just one of those days. There's nothing you can do about it. This shot show, though, he's got his good breaking stuff today, I'll tell you what. Anyway, as I was saying, I think it was last time or the time before, you can always tell that my gameplays are not done by AI. There's no AI that would play with this team and end up playing so miserably. Yeah. Oh well, at least we're getting people out, right? Charlie Brown's actually a pretty good pitcher. Charles Schultz was not exactly truthful in his comic strips. As you can clearly see, he's actually a pretty good pitcher. Yeah, we just need to get slightly better fielding and we'll be okay. But yeah, those of you who are in the comments have noticed times where we've had double hitters. We've had no hitters going through like 4 innings or whatever. So it's good that you guys notice that stuff because I don't. All right, I know we've given up 1 hit now, so we had a no hitter going through 3. But I haven't been paying close enough attention to that. Usually when I'm playing this, I'm either thinking about what other boneheaded thing I'm going to say, or I'm trying to not look like an absolute fool playing the game on camera. And as you know, I end up generally looking fairly foolish. So people keep telling me that you can push... Oh, shoot. You can push down and A. I tried it there, but it didn't work to like get him to stop halfway. I'm going to try it again if we hit another pop fly. There we go. Yeah, see if I push down and he actually goes back to first. Or maybe I was pushing down to first. Or maybe I just did it right there. I don't know. Anyway, home run for Linus. That's not really news, right? Actually, it kind of is, right? It's only his second. But anyway. Was that Linus? Yeah, no. Yeah, that was. Yeah, we have him hitting fifth. And here comes Lucy, who's supposed to be our Ricky Henderson. Not quite. So when I was making the 1982 baseball card video, I was looking for as much footage as I could possibly find from like games of like Ricky Henderson and Cal Ripken Jr. from 1982. Wasn't able to find much. I did find the footage of Henderson, getting the scrap base hit. That's the first play of this game that was, I think, on Sunday Night Baseball or something like that. Monday Night Baseball, I should say. But Henderson, after that, promptly got himself caught stealing. So I decided not to include that part. You think the guy stole like 100 whatever bases in 19... oh, shoot. No. Oh, man. You can't go back after you've crossed the bag. Geez, that was really bad. Anyway. And speaking of bad base running by Ricky Henderson, But yeah, Henderson, had 130 steals in 1982. And I'm looking through this game. I think I have more than one 1982 A's game on this drive, but I'm looking through this game and I'm like, and I found the one where he was caught stealing instead. Now he was actually caught stealing fairly frequently in '82. That's Bill James wrote an article about it for Sports Illustrated, I think it was, talking about how the stolen base was kind of overrated. And there's another topic of discussion, by the way. Historically in baseball, people wouldn't look at caught stealings. They didn't even keep the stat for a long time. So because they wouldn't look at caught stealing, they didn't really realize that caught stealing was like maybe not a great thing to have. We need to take Charlie Brown out. Man, oh man. That's a comic strip style home run to give up. Anyway, while there's a break in the action, I should tell you and remind you once again that if you want to see more videos like this and projects like this and me doing other crazy things, please consider becoming a channel member, a paying channel member. It's like $4 or $5. I can't remember what it is on this channel. Barring that, you can also look towards my Patreon page where there are a whole bunch of different Patreon benefits you can get and access to things like all of the 1982 games that I happen to have. And this is, I hope, not a home run. This would be really, really bad if it was. Additionally, there's also, if you go over to the Baseball Replay Journal Substack blog with a link in the description to this video, there's also a way to become a paying member there if you want, something that's, equally good. I think that's $5. I think the lowest Patreon tier is also $5. It's all right around that. Anyway, so go check that out. But I do mean that your financial help can really, really help with this project and keep this alive and going because I want to keep doing this. This is a lot more fun than anything else that I can imagine doing. So with that being said, we need to do better than this. So much for bunting, huh? It put us in a lurch, right? Because I don't want to take the guy out after he only pitched to 2 batters, even though he almost gave up a home run. Thank you very much. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Here's Franklin again. He's been a little bit of a disappointment, I would say, offensively for us, but that's probably because we haven't really pumped him up yet. It's a good thing we actually went back this time instead of risking it. The YOLO, that was one of the worst YOLOs we've ever had. And there's our lack of good luck. So yeah, we continue to be sort of the hard luck team. We should be beating them by a lot more runs than this. 2-1 is a little bit close for comfort, right? You would think that we would be improving after throwing all this money at the team. I'm kind of worried that we're going to play the lovely ladies and we're going to get just completely like curb stomped by them. It's going to be like 10-0 in the first inning or something like that. And by the way, that when we were kids and we'd play this game, we would always do stuff like that, right? Until you knew like the secrets and stuff like that, you would, go play against like the best team and get totally like wasted by the computer. And then if you're like me, you'd go like complain and say, oh, the NES is cheating again, right? And it is cheating, right? I should win. Anyway, good times. Good eye, Violet. Well, that definitely wasn't a ball to swing at, and I think she's just popped out to center. So I don't know, the lack of offense might actually be user error on my part. Yeah, Linus, as you can see, hit the home run earlier. It was him. That's only his second, though, for this season. So we got to get those numbers up, rookie. I don't know. Maybe I should just go sit down now. Might be a good time to go back to bed. Anyway, yeah, so regarding stolen bases, caught stealing and stuff, for the vast majority of baseball history, people only cared if you would actually steal a base. They didn't care so much if you got caught like 10 times trying to steal one or whatever ratio you had, which makes it very difficult if you're interested in replaying baseball and doing so accurately. You really need to have the caught stealing statistics, in large part because those are outs. Now, you can estimate them, and there are people in the world of baseball, sims that have done this over time. In fact, you kind of have to estimate them if you're going to do certain types of projects to get things right. But anyway, it's not always so easy. But ideally, you do want to have some way of estimating things. I think it was actually Pete Palmer who wrote an article that was influential, I want to say a decade ago or so, in one of those baseball publications talking about how to estimate caught stealing statistics for old seasons. There are ways you can do it. In fact, Baseball Reference does that. If you look at the catchers caught stealing statistics, those are estimates. And I actually emailed them once trying to figure out how they got those stats. This was like a couple of years ago, right when I first started this blog. And they told me that, yeah, they were all estimates, that they weren't actually the full statistics. This is one of the reasons why we have RetroSheet, which used to be that project score sheet thing, right? It's because there are a lot of stats like this that the baseball men didn't like keeping back in the old days. And because we don't have those stats, it becomes kind of hard for us to figure out exactly what happened in some of these old seasons. So, you can go through play-by-play accounts in old newspapers for some games, but you're not going to be able to get like the exact right caught stealing statistics. You can, on aggregate, sort of get it right, and you can sort of get it right because you can look at things like, World Series play-by-play stats and stuff. In fact, again, speaking of Pete Palmer, that's exactly what he did when he wrote The Hidden Game of Baseball. What he did is he went through the World Series play-by-play statistics and used those to sort of extrapolate what he thought were generally the how do we say this? He called the linear weights, right? The general weight and importance of every kind of offensive stat, all right, which is kind of the precursor to the batting side of WAR. And, the funny thing about that is that we have much better statistics now, right? Tom Tango and a group of others who are now with Fangraphs did this like 20 years ago or something like this. They did it again. Remember, Hidden Game of Baseball came out in '84, the year I was born. And so, anyway, the funny thing about this is that Pete Palmer's estimates were pretty straight on. I mean, they were very, very close to what we have in the end. And it's really interesting, too, that a lot of this stuff has, for the most part, stayed the same despite like different eras, changes in ballparks, changes in equipment, and so on and so forth. Anyway, some pretty interesting and really geeky stuff there for you. But for me, at least, the most fascinating part about all of this is that if you wanted to estimate caught stealing statistics, you could probably extrapolate sort of the data that we have and get like a really good idea using that. You can do it, right? We have like put out data and stuff because they did keep fielding stats back in the old days. You just have to, kind of dig in a little bit and figure out how to estimate things one way or the other. Anyway, that's a long tangent to go on. Most of you are probably bored silly. Meanwhile, we're still not hitting the ball, and we're still in danger of actually losing a game, which would be crazy, considering how good we've been. So this gives you an idea of sort of what the baseball stars grind really is like, right? Because you have to, have players that are good at multiple things. You can't have somebody who's just good at hitting who has no speed, as you can see there, because that's what happens when she has no speed, right? She gets thrown out at second on what should have been an easy double. So we have a long way to go. It's nice if you hit a home run, but you get guys like Hard Luck Linus who simply never get a home run pitch to hit and then swing at pitches that are aimed right at their forehead. That's all right, though. That happens sometimes, right? You ever see that, I think it's that old Willie Stargell clip where he had a ball coming at his forehead and he ends up like, sort of falling away to get out of the way of it and accidentally fouls it with like the tip of his bat or something like that, jeez. No comment. But yeah, so I mean, if Stargell did it, anybody could do it, right? I'm gonna always make excuses for my players, right? They're actually really good. All right, so now with 2 outs, we have Paul coming up. What do you think? Should we walk him? Should we hit him? I think we should hit him. Hey, get back here. No, I want to hit you. Well, he's scared of the ball. All right. Anyway, at least that way he's not going to be the one who hurts us. Of course, if we give up a 2-run home run here, we're not going to. But we can't get to this ball. I don't know who's in right field, but they're not quite fast enough for that. Oh, yeah. Strike 3. So we get the win. We only gave up 4 hits in that game. But that was ugly. It's been a long time since we've had a game that was that ugly and one that was that close. So pitcher C1 wins his 9th. Linus gets the home run, but 2-1 ball game, and all the runs were scored on home runs. How about that? And we get 54,000 again. We do need to play against lovely ladies coming up pretty soon so we can get some more money. That'll make this a little bit easier to upgrade. So who would I say we're going to pick on? Probably pick on Shermie, right? 4. Okay, he's the catcher, right? Okay, I think we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. That should help him a bit. He's at 25,000. 25, 30, 30. All right. 20. Get 3 out of this. Yeah, how do you like that? All right, we're kind of turning Snoopy into like a kind of blah type of player. And we only have 19,000 left, which means that we can't really upgrade anybody else. And so I think it's which of these players do we want to get rid of? I think he's still useful. This player's kind of useful. I think bad D1 is the one that we probably want to get rid of. All right. So we're about to have the sad music again. Get ready. So sad, so disappointing. They should have this photo in like, you know, OOTP, right? If you fire a player, you get to see that photo. Anyway, we need to have a right-handed batter who's trying to think. Yeah, we're gonna do a good hitter. Max 80. We can't afford him. Well, this one, max 82. All right. I'm just going to do this for now. And then we'll spend the rest of our money. If we can afford it, we'll spend the rest of our money on this player. Yeah. I think we'll just do prestige again. Yeah, we'll wait a little while to get this player up there. And we'll change their name again tomorrow, just like we usually do. There you go. And so that's going to be the wonderful end of play here. Man, oh man, I tell you, it's been kind of a crazy day here. So there you go. But it always feels better to play a little bit of Baseball Stars. Anyway, my hope is that I'm able to do another one of those 1919 games again today. I don't know if I will be able to or not. I'm really going to push for it. We'll see what happens. It's one of those things. So yeah. Don't get your hopes up too high for that. But because there's a couple of other things I kind of need to get taken care of for some of these other projects and stuff. But anyway, we'll do what we can. Hope that you enjoyed that. We got more coming up tomorrow. You'll see the name of this guy, and you'll see game number 24, I think it is, against the SNK Crushers. And we'll go out and crush them. Talk to you then.